How much money do you need to make to afford to live in different cities across Canada? There are a number of rules of thumb for the maximum amount of rent you should pay based on your income. Some will suggest that rent should be no more than 30% of your gross income. Others will say that 35% of your net income is the absolute maximum you should spend on rent. So what's the difference? Well, let's say we have someone earning $40,000 before tax. That is their gross income. So 30% of their gross income would be $12,000, and dividing that by 12 gives us a monthly amount of $1,000 as the maximum they should be putting towards rent, according to this rule. Now, depending on which province or territory they're in, their exact amount of income tax will vary. But let's say that across Canada, it averages out to $6,500. In this case, their net income is $40,000 minus $6,500 for a total of $33,500. So 35% of their net income would be 35% times $33,500 for a total of $11,725. And dividing that by 12 gives us a monthly amount of $977.08. So the 35% of net income rule is a bit more restrictive at this income level, but note that as income goes up, the 35% net income rule will be relatively more restrictive as the rate of income tax increases. For now, we'll use the 30% of gross income rule to keep the math simple as we see how much money you would need to earn to afford to live in different cities across Canada. Using data at rentseeker.ca, current to the fall of 2016, we find the following. In Vancouver, the rent for a studio bachelor apartment averaged $1,013 per month, and for the average one-bedroom apartment, it was $1,159 per month. If these rents were exactly 30% of your gross income, you would need to be earning between $40,520 to $46,360 per year. In Calgary, the average rent for a studio bachelor was $858 per month, and for a one-bedroom, it was $1,050 per month. You would need to be earning between $34,320 and $42,000 per year. In Saskatoon, the average rent for a studio bachelor was $703 per month, and for a one-bedroom, it was $909 per month. You would need to be earning between $28,120 and $36,360 per year. In Winnipeg, the average rent for a studio bachelor was $634, and for a one-bedroom, it was $836 per month. You would need to be earning between $25,360 and $33,440 per year. In Toronto, the average rent for a studio bachelor was $987, and for a one-bedroom, it was $1,132 per month. You'd need to be earning between $39,480 and $45,280 per year. In Montreal, the average rate for a studio bachelor was $586, and for a one-bedroom, it was $679 per month. You'd need to be earning between $23,440 and $27,160 per year. And finally, in St. John, the average rent for a studio bachelor was $494, and for a one-bedroom, it was $623 per month. You would need to be earning between $19,760 and $24,920 per year. Now, these are averages for these cities for apartments. Looking on Kijiji.ca, I can find a few one-bedroom condos in the urban cores of Toronto and Vancouver that are easily $2,300 per month. Using the 30% of gross income rule, that would require an income of $92,000 per year. Using the more restrictive 35% of net income rule, a one-bedroom condo rental of $2,300 per month would mean that we would have to have a net income of $78,857, which would require a gross income of roughly $105,000 per year for an individual. Now, it is worth mentioning that many Canadians exceed these rules of thumb. That may or may not be okay. Many Canadians spend around 15 to 20% of their income on transportation. But, for example, if you live downtown and don't need a car, what you save on transportation costs could go into your shelter costs within reason.